Welcome to Island Smart Word, English 12. My name is Helen, and today we are going to study Unit 5, Lifelong Learning, Lesson 3.2, Writing and Speaking, on pages 59 and 60. Are you ready? Now let's get started. Look at the lesson outline. In today's lesson, we are going through warm-up, writing, speaking, consolidation, and finally wrap up. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to practice softening meaning and showing uncertainty. Write a blog post about possible challenges lifelong learners face and their solutions. Talk about common challenges of lifelong learning and solutions. So now let's start the very first part of the lesson today, warm up. Okay, I would like you to work in pairs and answer these questions. Okay, the first one. What time management challenges do lifelong learners face when balancing learning with other responsibilities? 2. How can technological barriers affect access to online learning for lifelong learners? 3. How might a lack of support from family or peers slow down lifelong learners' progress? So, let's work in pairs in 7 minutes, and then you can come back here and share with me your ideas. Let's go. Welcome back. So, have you finished your discussion? Now, let me show you my suggested answers. Okay, the first one. What time management challenges do lifelong learners face when balancing learning with other responsibilities? Okay, so lifelong learners often find it hard to make time for studying because of work and family duties. And for number 2, how can technological barriers affect access to online learning for lifelong learners? Okay, so if lifelong learners don't have good internet or know how to use computers well, they can't easily use online courses. And the last question, how might a lack of support from family or peers slow down lifelong learners' progress? Okay, so without support from family or friends, lifelong learners might feel lonely and less motivated to keep learning. Okay, what about your own ideas? Let's share with your friends. Now let's move on. It's time for writing. Now I would like you to do some rewriting tasks. Okay, let's study this example situation. You are looking for Anna. Nobody is sure where she is, but you get some suggestions. So, where's Anna? Okay, we have 2 suggestions. The first one, she may be in the meeting room. It means perhaps she is in the meeting room. And then the second suggestion, she might be having breakfast. So it means perhaps she is having breakfast. Okay, now look at these 2 suggestions one more time. And then I want you to work in groups and choose the correct words to complete the green box here. Okay, do you see A and B? Now for A, we have 2 options, enhance or soften. And for B, we have 2 options, uncertainty and certainty. Okay, let's work in groups in 3 minutes. Now, let's go. Welcome back, everyone. So let's check the answers with me. Okay, so you can use modal verbs such as can, could, may, might to soften meaning and show uncertainty, which makes your opinions less direct or certain and avoids generalizations. Vậy thì chúng ta có thể dùng các động từ khiếm khuyết như can, could, may, might để làm giảm nhẹ ý nghĩa cũng như là cho thấy cái sự không chắc chắn. Và điều này làm cho cái ý kiến của chúng ta bớt trực tiếp và chắc chắn đi, cũng như là tránh bớt cái sự tổng hợp, tổng quát. Okay, so are your answers correct? Well done, everybody. So now, let's learn how to soften meaning and show uncertainty, okay? Now, let's open your student book, page 59. Look at the writing part. Okay, focus on writing skill box. Soften meaning and showing uncertainty. Soften meaning and showing uncertainty makes your opinions less direct or certain and avoids generalizations. To soften meaning and show uncertainty, you should use modal verbs to express uncertainty. Can, could, may, might. For example, it can be difficult to balance work, family time, and learning. You can also use some adjectives like possible, likely, unlikely. For example, one possible solution is to take shorter courses. You can use some adverbs like possibly, probably, usually, often, sometimes, generally. For example, we often feel more motivated when there's a clear goal. And you can use quantifiers like some of, many, most, one of. For example, many companies now offer financial help or time off for learning. So be careful with the words with the star on top because they are often used with a modal verb. Okay, here we have possibly, probably, okay? They're adverbs, so we use them with a modal verb. Alright, so we can combine two of the above elements in one sentence. However, we shouldn't do this too often because the reader will think we don't know much about what we're writing. So, is it clear to you now? Okay, let's practice with some tasks. Now, look at task A. I would like you to read the blog post again and underline examples of softening meaning and showing uncertainty. Okay, let's do it in 5 minutes. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Now, let's check the answer with me. Here we go. Now look at some examples like some of the most, might, can, may, possible. And we have some more here, can. And then some more, might, can, sometimes, can, may, could, can. Okay, lots of, many, can, and may. Alright. So how many correct words have you underlined? Well done, everyone. Now let's move on. It's time for task B. Rewrite these sentences by softening meaning and showing uncertainty. So here we have 5 sentences, and you have to rewrite them using some clues in the brackets. For example, look at number 1. A lack of self-discipline makes it hard to learn on your own. So, you have to use modal verb to rewrite this sentence. Okay, look at my example. A lack of self-discipline can, could, may, or might make it hard to learn on your own. So, you can do the same thing with the others. Let's do it in 10 minutes. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Now let's check the answers with me. Okay, look at number 2. Learning requires financial investment in classes, materials, and tools. So we need to use an adverb here. Here we go. Learning usually, often, sometimes, or generally requires financial investment in classes, materials, and tools. Okay, for number 3, we need a modal verb here. Okay, look at my answer. Finding the right learning resources can, could, may, or might be challenging. Now, number 4, we need a quantifier. Some or many people think that they're bad learners and are afraid of learning. And the last one, number 5, we need an adjective here. So, one possible or likely way to overcome this is to set aside time to learn every day. Okay, so what about your answers? Are they the same as mine? Well done, everyone. Now let's move on. It's time for speaking. Now, let's open your student book, page 60. Look at task A. Let's work in pairs and discuss some questions here. What are some possible challenges lifelong learners might face? What can you do to overcome the challenges? Now look, we have some clues. These are some possible challenges. Time, finance, motivation, lack of access, lack of support, and lack of confidence. You can have a look at my example here. They might not have motivation to learn. I think learning with a partner could help with that. Okay? Now you can do the same thing with your partner. Let's do it in 10 minutes. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. So have you finished your discussion? Now let me show you my suggested answer. Here we go. So the first challenge is all about time. They might not have enough time to study. Well, I think making a schedule could help with that. And the second challenge is all about finance. They might not have enough money for courses. And this is the solution. I think looking for free or low-cost resources online could help with that. And the third challenge is motivation. They might lack motivation to keep learning. And this is the solution. I think setting small goals and rewarding themselves could help with that. And then the next challenge is lack of access. They might not have access to good learning materials. I think using public libraries or community centers could help with that. And then the next challenge is all about lack of support. They might not have support from family or friends. Well, I think joining a study group or online community could help with that. And the last challenge is lack of confidence. They might lack confidence in their abilities. I think starting with easier tasks and gradually increasing difficulty could help with that. Alright, what about your own ideas? Let's share with your friends. Now it's time to move on. It's time for task B. Choose 3 possible challenges and complete the table with your ideas. Okay, in this part, you can choose your challenges that you discussed with your friends in task A to complete the table here. Okay, before you start, let me show you my suggested answers. So here are my 3 challenges. The first one, they might not have enough time to study. And this is my solution. I think making a schedule could help with that. And the second challenge, they might not have access to good learning materials. And the solution is that, well, I think using public libraries or community centers could help with that. And the last challenge, they might not have support from family or friends. And the solution is that I think joining a study group or online community could help with that. So now you can do the same thing, okay? Let's do it in 10 minutes. Let's go. It's time for useful language. Now everybody, please focus on task A. Now look at the 4 phrases here. 1. Take a course. 2. Lose motivation. 3. Deal with a problem. 4. Gain a new skill. Okay, I want you to read the blog post again and then circle the phrases below that the writer used, okay? So let's do it in 3 minutes. Now, let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Now, it's time to check the answers with me. Okay, so the 3 phrases that the writer used in the blog are 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you can have a look at my underlined phrases in the blog to deal with this problem, taking courses, and lose your motivation. Okay, now it's time to move on. It's time for task B. Alright, look, we have 4 sentences, A, B, C, D. I want you to fill in the blanks in these 4 sentences with the verbs below. Attend, sign up for, provide, maintain, overcome, and pick up. Okay, I will give you 5 minutes to do this task. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Now let's check the answers with me. Okay, look at the first sentence. A, I want to attend or sign up a course. B, I can provide or maintain motivation. C, I need to overcome a problem. And the last one, D, I want to pick up a new skill. Okay, what about your answers? Are they correct? Well done, everybody. Now let's move on. It's time for the last task. Let's write. So now you're going to write a blog post about possible challenges of lifelong learning and solutions. You can use the writing skill box, the reading model, and your speaking notes to help you. You can write from 180 to 200 words. Okay, before you start, let me show you my sample answer. Now have a look. Lifelong learning is very important in today's world, but it isn't easy. Here are some of the most common challenges lifelong learners might have and how to overcome them. Lifelong learning can be time-consuming. You'll probably have to attend classes, do homework, and take tests. If you have a job, it's pretty difficult to find time for all of that. One way to overcome this is to find online courses that you can complete at your own pace. Learning can sometimes be expensive. Courses and materials can cost a lot of money. But there are also free online resources you can use. And if you take courses for your job, you should ask your company for financial aid. You might not have the motivation to learn. Learning can be boring or difficult, especially if you're learning alone. One possible solution is to learn with your friends. They'll keep you motivated and help you with difficult problems. Lifelong learning doesn't have to be challenging. If you follow the advice above, you'll be able to pursue lifelong learning and benefit from it. So, this is a blog with 181 words in total. So now I will give you 15 minutes to write your own blog post. Let's go. It's time for some extra practice in your workbook. Now, let's open your workbook, page 31. Okay, look at the writing part. Now, I want you to read the writing skill box one more time and more carefully, and then rewrite these sentences by softening meaning and showing uncertainty. Do you see the 6 sentences here? Okay, let's rewrite them in 10 minutes, and then come back here and check the answers with me. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Now let's check the answers with me. Okay, look at the first sentence. We need a quantifier here. Okay, so here we go. In addition to gaining new skills and knowledge, lifelong learning has many or some health benefits. And number 2, we need a modal verb here. And these are my modal verbs. Okay, do you see my answer? Learning new things expands your knowledge. You can, might, may, could discover new interests and hobbies. Okay, moving on. Number 3, we need an adverb. Okay, so this is my answer. It's usually, probably, sometimes, often, or generally easier to learn something new when you involve other people in the learning process. Okay, number 4, we need a modal verb here. And here we go. The way technology is changing so quickly can, might, may, could make it hard to stay up to date. Okay, moving on. Number 5. We need an adverb here. And here we go. For these reasons, it is probably or generally a good idea for everyone to pursue lifelong learning. And the last one, number 6. We need an adjective here. Okay, here we go. In conclusion, one possible solution to future happiness is to continue with lifelong learning. Okay, so what about your answers? Are they the same as mine? Alright, very good everyone. Now let's move on. It's time for consolidation. Now I would like you to work in pairs. Ask and answer the question below with your partner about lifelong learners. What are some ways for lifelong learners to balance work, life, and learning? Now I will give you 5 minutes to discuss with your partner. Let's go. Welcome back everyone. So, have you finished your discussion? Now let me show you my suggested answer. Here we go. Lifelong learners can balance work, life, and learning by making a schedule, setting priorities, and taking short breaks to relax. They can also ask for support from family and friends. Okay, what about your own ideas? Let's share with your friends. Now it's time to move on. Now, let's wrap up everything we have learned in the lesson today. So in today's lesson, as for the speaking part, we talk about common challenges of lifelong learning and solutions. As for the writing part, we have practiced softening meaning and showing uncertainty. We also write a blog post about possible challenges lifelong learners face and their solutions. Okay, have a look at some homework you have to do. Remember to review vocabulary related to the life of the family member. Don't forget to make sentences using the vocabulary in the student book and do exercise it in workbook on page 31. Now, it's time to say goodbye, Miss Helen. Goodbye, everyone, and see you next time. Goodbye.